Yes, Lonsdale Country Market, G&H Property Management, Bashers, the Faribault Center, bring you our Faribault Coaches Show. Last weekend, Bethlehem Academy graduated their seniors. Tomorrow is graduation at Faribault Senior High School. By the way, the Faribault Aquatic Center Water Park opens, or at least they're scheduled to open, today. Maybe Royal Ross will have more information on that. He joins Paul Shea out at Bashers this morning, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Gordy. Appreciate that. We are out at Bashers. And I told Royal Ross, I said, Royal, I think you're going to get lead billing today. And indeed he did.
Well, thank you, Gordy. I appreciate that. Must be the end of the year present for Royal.
Royal, and I guess, and you looked at me, you're like, pool's opening? So with today's weather, I know there's a temperature concern with the pools. I think it's got to be above 68 degrees for them to open up, and we're going to be kind of border to that today, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to make it or not, and even if we do, I predict some pretty cold water. So, there might be a couple of hardy souls out there, but I don't anticipate it being a big, huge pool day at the old Faribault Aquatic Center.
No, you know what would have been nice, and I know when it comes to, you got to find workers and dates being set, but 2-3 weekends ago, right, when it was like that 90 degrees,
yeah.
Oh, that would have been brilliant. We are out here at Bashers Faribault Center. We're brought to you by G&H Property Management and, of course, Lonsdale Country Market. As we always do each week, Royal opens up the show either talking about G&H Property Management or Bashers Faribault Center. Last week, Bashers was closed in observance of Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
They are open. We've got people eating breakfast right now, Royal.
Yeah, and I've already eaten breakfast out here. I had a little pancake and sausage action today. So, we're out here at the Southern Minnesota Fun Center, the Southern Minnesota Entertainment Center, as I call it. Gets a little bit more fun out here in the summertime because, we've got the volleyball courts open. We'll have axe throwing. Just sit on the deck on a beautiful night, watch some volleyball, and take it all in. But, of course, the bowling alley is open. I believe they're doing their $2 shoes, $2 bowling game special this summer. Again, you might want to check with them on that, but I think I saw something on that. So it's a good, cheap entertainment activity. And then, of course, if it's raining like it might be today, you can always come out to Bashers, watch some of your favorite sports on the TV, and play some darts and do some bowling inside. But if it's nice, get out there and enjoy the weather, folks.
Brilliant. You mentioned axe throwing, and I know last year, Gordy and yourself, and I think a couple of other people came out and participated in, I don't know if it was the inaugural weekend of axe throwing.
I think it was, yes.
Where does that take place here on the Bashers compound?
It's out in the deck area.
Okay.
It's just on I guess it would be the west side of the deck and volleyball area. They've got it set up there for a couple of lanes, and we did try it. Gordy, I think, got an axe to stick in there.
Nice.
I did not. I think we had Coach Gustafson out here that day, and I'm afraid to say I don't think he got an axe stuck in either. Honestly, it was kind of embarrassing for Coach Gustafson and I to have Gordy get the only one to stick in the wood. But, what can we say? Gordy's the man.
That's awesome.
But, like I said, I talked about what we have to do out here during the day and all summer long. But don't forget now, lots of grad parties going on and maybe even some summertime work picnics, things like that. If you need somebody to cater it and bring you out the food and plates and take care of everything for you, give Bashers a call. They would love to help you out.
Now, we are app only today, so hopefully you've tapped the app. Coming up later, Hayfield is taking on, I'm blanking on who they face, but it's a smaller school. Lyle Pacelli, there we go. Hayfield, Lyle Pacelli baseball. That is at 2 o'clock now. Might be an app-only push. We might move that over there. Stay tuned. We'll let you know on that. And last week, Royal, I got to say, last week, we almost filled up a table with guests that came in.
Yeah, kids needed something to do last week on the holiday weekend, I guess, because we had track people, and we had all kinds of people out here, and it was a lot of fun talking to them. I'm just so impressed with the young athletes. They're so well poised, and they speak well, directly. they just do a great job at coming out here for the interviews.
Yeah, they do. But I mentioned track and field because you were looking up track and field because today I know that there are several athletes with Faribault boys track and field that are competing. I don't know, is it state this weekend?
It's a Section 1AA track and field meet up in Lakeville South. So today is day 2, I believe,
yes.
And it's the finals today. So, if you're not doing anything, you can drive up there and see some good track competition. As like I said, it is the section finals, so it'll be an interesting day. I can't wait to see the results and see how our Faribault runners and tracksters fared up there.
Coach Weaver last week was very enthusiastic, and he really liked where they were poised to be. I think we had 3 of the 4 sprinters in the...
I believe you're right.
The 1x4, I think, or whatever, 4x4, that were with us at the table there. But he was really excited. You could see it in his face, probably hear it in his voice, how excited he was. And he thinks they're going to be very good at sprints for the next several years because they're relatively young. Yep,
they're relatively young and they're relatively speedy. So that's a good combination for the future of Faribault track and field.
Very, very nice. So it's going on at Lakeville South today, the finals. Yep. Has it already started, Royal? Do you know?
I believe it has. I believe it has started. I haven't got an exact time here. Oh, no. No, it hasn't. According to Twitter, and Twitter is never wrong.
Always right?
Always right. 3:30 p.m., Lakeville South High School. Boy, kind of a late start, I would think.
Maybe they're waiting for the rain, if they were going to get any, for the track to dry off, perhaps.
Yeah, let's start a track meet at 3:30 in the afternoon. Why not, folks? But that's what Twitter says, according to that. Just one other note.
Yes.
There was going to be a Faribault tennis event. There was some free tennis today at the Faribault High School tennis courts, and due to the rain, that event is canceled. So,
are they going to make it up? Do you know?
It doesn't say, but hopefully they will. Coach Anderson will make that up.
And was that more of like a come on out and learn?
It sounded like more of a, here's your chance to try tennis thing. But I didn't see a lot of detail about it. But I just wanted to pass it on that if anybody was planning on going out there, it was canceled due to the rain. So, baseball team came to an end this week. That's unfortunate. I read that. I think they lost to Red Wing in their final game. Mm-hmm. So that's a bummer, but, I'm sure it was a fun season for them and just didn't quite end the way they wanted it to.
And I know Gordy had talked to the head baseball coach about possibly getting some guys out here. I know it's kind of difficult. You probably want some seniors to come out. And like you said, we might have some grad parties this weekend. They might be getting ready to, go on vacation, summer vacation, now that school's wrapped up for many kids in the area. But I think they had, if I remember correctly, talking with some of the baseball players that came in earlier this year. I think they had 4 or 5 seniors, and I think it was a mix between Faribault and BA. So, you kind of got that combination there, too.
Yeah. And then just a little bit more on that track, track sectionals today. We did have 3 hurdlers advanced to the section finals on Saturday. And that was Christian Escobar and Carter Johnson and Finn Larson. So that's kind of cool to have 3 of them advance in 300 hurdles. So.
I was never good at hurdles. Were you a hurdler?
I'm too short. Yeah, I'm not a hurdler. I'm not a runner either. It'd be a far stretch to say I'm an athlete. And the only reason I'm an athlete is because bowlers are athletes, darn it.
I was about to say, you have to be athletic to bowl, right?
Bowlers are athletes.
Those guys on the tour, they're ripped.
I tell my friends that all the time, that bowlers are athletes.
Yeah, those guys who could compete, right, out there?
You darn right.
So 3 hurdlers are in the finals today. Once again, that's at 3:30 Lakeville South. It looks like that's going to start today, according to Twitter, which is never wrong.
That's right.
That's how we preface things on the show. I was also going to mention Royal, as Royal kind of goes through his handheld computer, used as a communication device.
Handheld computer, yes.
VA softball. They had one heck of a run. Now, their season was very up and down this year. they would go on, winning streaks 2, 3, 4, and then they, all of a sudden they kind of hit the skids, kind of like a certain professional Major League Baseball team in Minnesota right now, where they would go on these winning streaks, and then they ran to the section finals this week. The BA Cardinals.
Okay.
They met the buzzsaw known as Wabasha Kellogg. Now, Wabasha Kellogg had previously defeated Waterville Elysian Morristown. They had a pitcher royal that walked one batter up until the playoffs all season long.
Wow.
That's impressive.
That is not bad, is it?
So BA went in, Wabasha Kellogg, on Wednesday this week. They were playing in Austin, and BA had an 11-2 lead, Royal. They were up 11-2, and the Tides quickly turned to Wabasha Kellogg, where it was a final of 21-11 for the final score in 6 innings. So the BA Cardinals season did wrap up for fast pitch softball, but it was one heck of a ride for those that followed along with that season. If I remember correctly, I did not have the opportunity to talk to a lot of BA Cardinal fast pitch athletes this year. I think they're a relatively younger team.
I believe they were a younger team too in softball too, but can't tell you for sure, but I believe they were.
So future is bright for BA fast pitch softball. You can read all of those recaps and follow their journey. Gordy Cosfeld journaled about it on the free KDHL app and KDHLradio.com. You mentioned Faribault Falcons. They lost to Red Wing earlier this week. I think the score was 4-2. Their season ended with that loss. Now Red Wing went on to face, I think, Northfield, and that will be whoever wins that game faces the loser of the winner's bracket. And so if Northfield were to advance, they were going to have to win the rest of the way out and then win out in those baseball playoffs. And I think some of that has to deal with this afternoon with baseball going on across the area. Weather in Austin not looking cooperative. When I looked at future radar today, looked like lots of rain, but the plan was to get Hayfield on this afternoon. That game was scheduled for noon, now moved to 2 o'clock.
And is Gordy announcing that game?
Yes, that is why you hear me instead of Gordy today. It was scheduled for noon, so he was going to head on out once the show got started. And then since I was already here, we just said, I'll do the show. He was going to run back there, but that is kind of what we've got going on today. I had one more thing that just escaped my head because we talked to, let's see here, girls golf coach last week.
Yep.
And they had sections this past week. They had that tournament on Tuesday in Cannon Falls. I'm not quite sure where they're a very young team though when we talked to them. So,
I did not see how they did either, but maybe you can find something.
Sounds
there.
good.
But yeah, I'm not sure how they fared. I didn't see any results. But
in boys golf, so if girls were to be doing theirs on Tuesday, you'd think the Faribault boys team would have been competing sometime this week as well with their sections. I don't know how separate things are. I mean, softball and baseball are usually like, a week apart with how they're scheduled out. So I would think the boys would probably head it that way. And then, let's see here, we had graduation recently for BA. Faribault have their graduation yet, Royal, do you know?
I don't believe they have.
So that's probably coming up.
I could be incorrect, but I don't believe they have.
All right, I know last night was several other southern Minnesota schools' graduation, so maybe we just missed it last night.
We might have. If we did, we apologize to the kids,
Maybe that's why Troy Dunn was in town, walking around downtown today.
Yeah, I heard we had a Troy Dunn sighting today.
He was down. I won't say what building he was leaving, or looked like he was leaving, but he was downtown on Central, and it wasn't the radio station, but he was he was walking around with his wife, and he looked cold. Now I believe he's moved to Arizona.
He has moved somewhere to undisclosed location in Arizona.
He had on, I think he had 2 sweatshirts on from the looks of it.
Oh, so. Troy. You've been gone a few months and you're already that weak. Come on, buddy.
He was looking a little cold this morning.
I've got a t-shirt and shorts on.
Yeah, well, not me. I've got jeans and a hoodie, but I'm...
Troy, 2 sweatshirts. It's like 70 degrees outside. Let's go.
Oh, but... Nevertheless, we're wrapping up the season, and I know next week, I believe, was going to be the final Bashers Coaches Show. We might add another one in here based on what's going on today. If you've got a student that has graduated, maybe had not made the show all year, maybe there was technical difficulties or just couldn't make it because you're going out of town, great opportunity for you to send the kids down next week. And they don't have to be in sports. They can be in activities.
It can be robotics, speech, art, in any of the arts, theater. So no, it doesn't have to be just sports. It can be, just any activity that they're in. We've always wanted to talk to a boxer.
Faribault's got a boxing team?
Faribault has a boxing team.
I didn't even know that.
No,
okay.
Yeah. We found it out one time because one of the young ladies we were interviewing for a sport was in boxing, or at that time was in boxing.
Wow.
So yeah, we got to talk a little bit about it on air, but we've always wanted to talk to a boxer. But I would love to hear from somebody from the robotics team. That kind of fascinates me. I'd like to hear.
Yeah,
I'd like to hear about how
winter?
they were going on spring.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know how long it is. Maybe it goes all winter and spring, but they were going on just a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Wow.
And I'd really like to know, how do those competitions work? What's the format? How do you advance? I mean, what is involved in robotics? I'm not picturing, those demo derby type robotic things they used to have out on TV. BattleBots, yeah. I'm not picturing something like that. I'm picturing more of, the capability in what the student-built robots can do and things like that. I'm kind of fascinated. I wish they'd send somebody out and tell us about it sometime.
Yeah. I mean, seats are always open, right? And we'll take anyone and everyone who wants to come on out and chat during the Faribault Coaches Show. And with robotics, when I think of robotics, and it's probably short-sighted of me to think this, I think of Rosie from the Jetsons, right?
Yeah.
When I think of anything like when you say robot, that's the first thing that comes to mind. But these are capable machines that have a task, right? That do they get to pick that, or is it they draw what they're supposed to build, like out of like a
Again, I don't know the format. We need someone intelligent to come out here and I'm a bowler that's involved in real estate, and you're a radio guy. We need some intelligence out here. No offense intended, but we don't know much about robotics.
No, because it is fascinating. Is it built based on maybe Faribault's got a program that's dominant in tread-based robotics, right? And another school, BA's got if they got robotics, maybe they're really good at the scoop robots, right? I mean,
who knows?
You put them together and they could be, just completely dominant. But it's a area I've never been able to dive into. Where do they hold the competitions? Can Faribault hold the robotics competition?
I believe they've had some here.
Okay.
I don't know how many or anything, but I believe they've had some here.
Okay.
It's cool. Someday we'll find out more about them.
That's good.
I'll see if they have anything on
Perfect
on the Twitter on my computerized handheld device.
While you're doing that, as we sit here on the Faribault Coaches Show, brought to you by Bashers Faribault Center, Lonsdale Country Market, and of course G&H Property Management. Gordy Kosfeld on June the 1st celebrated 35 years of being at KDHL. That's not in the industry. Wow. 35 years.
That's a good run, Gordy. Good job, and congratulations to you. And, he thinks I'm joking and picking on him when I say that he is one of the best men in Faribault, but I sincerely believe he is. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to get to know his heart a little bit over the last few years and stuff, and Gordy's a great man. He really is. Not only does he do a ton of stuff for the community and broadcasting, announcing, emceeing, all kinds of stuff like that, but he's a great man, folks. He really is.
he was teasing me because he went on the air June 1st, 1987. I was 9 months. I was 9 months old when he first went on the air.
Actually, I'm a little bit surprised you were even born. You know.
So he was kind of teasing me about that because we had a little bit of a get together for him. Jerry Grosskreutz celebrated a birthday on Saturday last week, as we just brought in a new hire. So it was kind of the circle of life, so to speak. Her first week and Gordy's 35th year, all coinciding kind of the same time. But he is a guy that gets a lot done, and just think of the games and how many athletes you can talk to over 35 years and games you cover, the things you see.
How many sporting events do you think he has announced as, broadcast over the radio? Oh, my.
So roughly, when we kind of look at the game schedules that we do, we have anywhere between 120 to 140 events a year.
And how many of those does Gordy do?
That's just him.
Oh, that's just him.
That's just him.
So he does 130.
Roughly, yep.
130 events a year.
Yep, sometimes it goes out more, right, depending on the year.
I'm past taking off my shoes and socks now. I'm into my calculator now. So let's say 130. And it probably wasn't that many in the beginning.
No, because Mike Morrissey was probably doing a majority of the games. But he would help out Mike.
Let's say that even if Gordy averaged 75 over the last 35 years, that's 2,600 sporting events that he's probably announced. So.
Yep, and it was the highest of highs, right? Maybe the lowest of lows during all that time. He's witnessed athletes that have gone on to do things great athletically as well as in the community.
Yeah.
We'll go out and he'll often remark, "Oh, I saw this person's parents compete," or "Oh, his uncle was a really good athlete," and so all of these ties that he has, it really is amazing. And he, without fail, he sees the last name and he could probably rattle off stats from parents and aunts and uncles. So
it would not surprise me at all. But I think it's safe to say that Gordy has announced over 2,500 high school sporting events in his 35-year tenure at the.
And that's just regular season. That doesn't include state tournament off of our regularly scheduled broadcast,
at the Mighty 920.
Yep, And before that, he puts time in. See here, Nebraska. I think he did a year or 2 years in Nebraska.
Yeah.
I think he did 3 or 4 years in Iowa, and then he came here. So, I mean, he's been broadcasting, I think, 40-plus years he's been on the air somewhere in the U.S., but 35 of them right here in Faribault.
And if there's folks out there trying to figure out how old Gordy is, let's just say that he's 82 years old. We're going to go with 82. Thanks, Gordy. I appreciate you, buddy.
Were you able to find anything on girls golf at all?
No, I was not.
Okay.
I was not. So.
All right. I'm trying to think here what we got to cover here. So we had Faribault boys baseball. Their season has ended. That was a co-op with BA.
Yep.
BA softball had their season wrap up at the hands of Abishaw Kellogg. And fast pitch softball, Faribault softball. Their journey was over last weekend. Just run through spring sports. Boys track and field is at Lakeville South for the section finals today. We found out 3 hurdlers have made the finals.
Yep.
And that's all time-based. Cool. And then I guess I was just kind of looking at some, social media and online last night a little bit, and I noticed I was seeing some other high schools saying that their teams have qualified for state already.
Okay.
So hopefully we have some state qualifiers coming out of the finals today. Because I learned last weekend, it's just time-based. They have to have that certain time, and they were very close. They were talking about, I think they said 0.3 seconds they had to shave off to be state-bound.
State qualified or state-bound. Yeah. Interesting. I like that way. I wonder if that is adjusted based on weather.
I don't know. I should have asked that last week. Coach Weber was here.
Because if you think about it, it's time-based. So let's say in some event you have to hit 43 seconds, 43.0 seconds. Well, 43.0 seconds in ideal track weather compared to
today.
A light rain and maybe slightly into a wind. Boy, that really changes the circumstances. I don't know. We'll have to ask Weber.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be in next week to give us the results from this past weekend.
Hopefully he does, and we'll have to remember to ask him that and say, hey, when you have those time-based determinants as to whether a person goes to state or qualifies for the next meet, or however it works. Do they take weather and conditions into play?
Yeah, how does that work, right? Because you're right, and track and field's always a spring sport. Don't know about you, but it always seems to be windier in the spring than it does in the fall.
It seems to be. I don't know. I wonder if that's true or not, but it seems to be.
This year it seems to be especially true with the amount of wind we've had and the rain we've had. We've lucked out in this area weather-wise. Up north, the Alexandria area, that central Minnesota area, has been pounded by severe storms, it seems like weekly. And then up north, for people vacationing there, I saw some pictures from the Superior National Forest, and there are roads still completely underwater. They've reached the highest watermark level since their peak in 1950 already.
Really?
So new records being set, and other roads have been cleared, and there's nothing left. So
there's nothing left.
No, yeah, all washed out. It's just awful. So I mean, spring is a gambit, right? A big gamble.
Yep, that's going to put some damper on camping trips and stuff, I bet, up there. But DNR, we got a good strong DNR. They'll get the main arteries open, I bet.
But yeah, so that's what we got. We've got about 3.5 minutes left, Royal. Anything else we want to talk when it comes to Faribault sports? We want to wish all the graduates a wonderful year they had and look forward to hearing for their future endeavors.
And especially, the seniors. We want to wish them good luck in what they're going on to. Some are going on to colleges, 4-year universities. Some are going into trade schools. Some are going into community colleges, and some military, and some just straight into the workforce. So whatever you're deciding, whatever path you're deciding to take, we wish you good luck with it. And no matter which path you're taking, you can be a success. So don't be afraid to grab life by the horns and go for it.
Does Faribault have a fishing team? I just thought of this.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Some schools do, and there's a lot of lakes. There's an abundance of lakes in the area.
Yeah.
So you
That'd
can
be
have
interesting.
a fishing team.
Yeah.
G&H Property Management would look nice on the side of a fishing boat.
Yes,
don't you think out
the
there?
G&H Property Management sponsored high school fishing team. Yeah, that'd be fun.
It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. But yes, G&H Property is located right in beautiful downtown Faribault. Our sister company is Blue Water Properties over in Northfield. So we've got a pretty expansive footprint in southern Minnesota for property management, which would include all of the management of residential rentals and taking care of investor properties, things like that. And then we've also got association management all the way, Bloomington down to, Faribault over to Waterville, Northfield, Dundas, just all over there. Picked one up in Farmington recently, and then we've got a couple up in the Spicer area. So we've got a big footprint for association management. That'd be townhome associations, condo associations. And then, of course, we have our sales team in residential and commercial real estate. I'm going to be having a house come on the market this week. Well, next week. I guess today's Saturday. It'll be coming on next week. But I'll be listing another house next week. And, houses are very, very low inventory right now. So
Still are.
Yes, still are. Yep. So as I always say, if you're thinking about selling, you better have a good, solid plan on where you're going, because you put your home up, it's going to sell pretty quickly, and you're going to be left wondering, well, where do I live now? So have a plan, folks.
Very good, very good. Well, Roy, appreciate the time with you. I believe Gordy will be back next week.
Unless, of course, he's announcing another playoff baseball game or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because state softball is this week. Thursday and Friday is when state softball is.
Okay.
So that generally means baseball will have wrapped up, and then you'd have state baseball beginning the following week. And I don't think they play any games on Saturday for that either. So fingers crossed on that.
So there's a good chance that Gordy will be here next week.
Very good.
And remember,
chance.
folks, Gordy, one of the best men in Faribault.
All right, it's going to do it for us here on the Faribault Coaches Show, brought to you by G&H Property Management, the Lonsdale Country Market with that Wagyu beef.
And I've got one question.
Yeah.
Gordy and I have not tried Wagyu beef. Have you ever tried Wagyu beef? I have to get over there and get some of that and try it.
They massage the cows, as Gordy likes to say.
I don't know what they do, but everything I've heard about it is good.
And Basher's Faribault Center, that's going to put a wrap on the show for the day today. Have yourself a fantastic weekend, and we'll connect with you again next weekend. Bring those kids out to Basher's and enjoy everything they have to offer.
The Mighty 920, KDHL.